making headlines. President urges the people to embrace Islamic principles and respect Maldivian values. Minister Tariq Ibrahim meets with several key airlines and tour operators on the sidelines of the ongoing ITB Berlin Fair. MFDA reports reduction in food safety issues since the ratification and implementation of the Food Safety Act.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to PSM News in English. I'm your host Ahmad Imad and I'll be continuing with the details for the latest stories. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz urges the people to embrace Islamic principles and respect Maldivian values, which he said would provide spiritual fulfillment and prosperity.
In his special address on the National Identity Revival Day, President Dr. Muiz emphasized the importance of reviving the concept of national identity among Maldivians through the integration of intellectual and modern principles as well as the incorporation of modern technology. In this regard, the President affirmed commitment to preserving national identity guided by the principles of Islam and the teachings of the Holy Quran to deter harmful influences while promoting positive values within the society. Adding that a nation's cultural framework is based on their worldview, the President stated that societal cultures and customs in the Maldives are governed by the moral teachings of Islam. As such, he emphasized that embracing and upholding Islam has been the defining factor of Maldivian national identity. The President noted that the significance of National Identity Revival Day coinciding with Ramadan this year, emphasizing the role of Islam in shaping nationhood in the Maldives. He credited the teachings of Islam in upholding human dignity, deterring from wrongdoing, fostering respect for leadership, contribution to religious infrastructure, and values such as honesty and offering regular prayers within society. Additionally, the President drew examples from Maldivian brotherhood from the scriptures of foreign travelers who describe the shared compassion, empathy, and peace amongst Maldivians in their writings. He also referenced instances in Maldivian history when the nation collectively rallied against foreign attackers, liberating themselves through unwavering faith in defending Islam. President described national identity as one that is deeply rooted in the conscience of Maldivians for the millennia that Maldives has been inhabited. In this regard, he stated that the Maldives' national identity accumulated through shared experiences, cultures, population growth, and shared beliefs that have led to the continuity of its existence. The National Identity Revival Day, the President stated, holds a great significance for the Maldivians as it remains the foundation of nationhood. The President urged collective commitment to upholding the principles of Islam and the Maldivian values.
The Maldives welcomes the adoption of the Gaza reconstruction plan presented by Egypt, which was endorsed at the Arab League Summit on Gaza in Cairo, Egypt. The Maldives support was announced by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdullah Khalil, on a post on the social media platform X following the summit's approval of Egypt's proposal.
The Arab Summit in Cairo, Egypt, approved Egypt's proposal to replace U.S. President Donald Trump's vision of expelling Gaza's Muslims and developing a Riviera in Gaza. In his post, Foreign Minister said the proposed plans focus on relief and rebuilding of Gaza under the governance of the Palestinian Authority paves way for a lasting peaceful solution where the people of Palestine can remain on their land and uphold the Palestinian cause. He expressed hope that with these measures, the establishment of an independent state in Palestine would come about, consistent with the pre-1967 Palestinian borders with East Jerusalem as its sovereign state. Egypt's proposal includes transitional measures, reconstruction, and governance. Under the first phase of the Egyptian proposal, a governing committee will be formed for Gaza within 6 months. According to the plan, Gaza's reconstruction would begin with the clearing of rubble from Gaza's Salah al-Din Street. Once the roads are clear, 200,000 housing units will be constructed to accommodate 1.2 million people and about 60,000 damaged buildings restored. The next phase will see the construction of an additional 400,000 homes. The Arab countries have launched talks on the reconstruction of Gaza after Israel's genocide in Gaza destroyed the city's homes and infrastructure. The Israelis launched its inhuman aggression against Gaza on the 7th of October 2023. The death toll in Gaza has risen to 61,700 with another 111,000 injured.
Minister of Tourism and Environment Tariq Ibrahim meets with several key airlines and tour operators on the sidelines of the ongoing ITB Berlin Fair in a bid to offer better connectivity for tourists arriving in the Maldives. The minister is being accompanied by top officials of the Maldives Marketing and PR Corporation MMPRC and the country's travel and tourism industry. On the sidelines of ITB, Minister Tariq met officials from British Airways, Condor Airlines and Qatar Airways. Ministry of Tourism and Environment said discussions during the meetings focused on strategic partnerships to improve air connectivity and access to the Maldives. In addition to the airlines, Minister Tariq also met representatives of Booking.com and Dubai National Air Travel Agency DNATA to explore ways to enhance visitor experience. During his visit for the ITB Fair, Minister Tariq also attended the United Nations Tourism Ministers Summit, engaging in discussions on enhancing investment, ensuring peace and strengthening global tourism resilience. During the summit, the minister underscored the significance of international collaboration, which he said remains critical to navigate the changes in guest expectations and harness technology for strengthening the global tourism industry. He also reaffirmed the Maldives' commitment to enhance visitor experience and build an industry that is resilient, competitive and future-ready. The minister is being accompanied by top officials of the Maldives Marketing and PR Corporation MMPRC and the country's travel and tourism industry. ITB Berlin Fair 2025 kicked off on March 4th and will continue until March 6th. A delegation of 200 delegates representing 89 companies from the Maldives tourism industry is participating in the fair. The Maldives Food and Drug Authority MFDA reports a substantial reduction in food safety issues since the ratification and implementation of the Food Safety Act. Enacted in May 2024, the legislation offers a comprehensive framework for the regulation of food safety, ensuring all food products, whether domestically produced, imported or exported, are devoid of harmful substances and adhere to established standards.
Proposed by the current administration, the Food Safety Act is designed to ensure all food and beverages entering the country must meet rigorous safety criteria. The law stipulates explicit procedures and standards that must be followed by all stakeholders within the food industry, including producers and vendors. It also authorizes the MFDA to enact stringent punitive measures against non-compliant food service providers and production facilities. Aminat Shabana Ali, Food Quality Assurance Coordinator at MFDA, told PSM News that the authority has ramped up inspections of food production and retail establishments since the law's enactment. She said that MFDA ensures adherence to recommended storage temperatures for food items during these inspections. Shabana noted that the new law has endowed the MFDA with additional powers to take punitive action against violators of food safety regulations. This empowerment has led to a significant decline in issues identified during MFDA inspections, she added. She also highlighted the importance of compliance with the law and relevant regulations, which also extends to food producers. She elaborated that the MFDA has received complaints about improperly labeled food items produced in local homes and sold in shops. She urged all food producers and manufacturers, especially those preparing food at home for sale, to comply with the law and accompanying regulations. According to the Food Safety Act, all food sellers and producers must be registered with the MFDA. Food items can only be sold at registered outlets or shops. The law's primary objective is to establish standards for various aspects of food production and preparation, including packaging, labeling, preservation, storage, trade, supply and distribution. It also delineates the standards and licensing requirements for establishments involved in these processes, specifying the hygiene standards individuals must follow to ensure food safety.
Immigration statistics show that the UK was the top source market for Maldives' tourism industry in February.
According to the Maldives Immigration, 214,091 tourists visited Maldives in February, bringing the total visitors to the island nation so far in 2025 to 428,954. The statistics showed that in February, the UK piped China to top the arrival charts by 23,210 visitors. Chinese tourists were a close second with 21,928, followed by Russia and Italy. The highest single-day arrival of tourists was on 16th February with 9,518 arrivals, which also happens to be the highest single-day arrivals recorded so far in 2025. The daily arrivals average so far for this year is 7,646 tourists. Despite the dip in February, China has contributed to dominate the numbers as the top source tourist market for the island nation, with over 60,000 Chinese visitors so far this year, followed by Russia and the United Kingdom. The world-renowned tourist destination in 2024 witnessed the highest number of tourist arrivals in a single year in its 52-year tourism history. According to the tourism figures, a total of 2,047,435 tourists had holidayed in the Maldives in 2024. This is a 9% increase from the 1,878,543 tourists from 2023. This marks the first time Maldives has welcomed 2 million tourists to its shores in a calendar year. The government aims to improve tourism occupancy and bring in 15% more tourists this year than last year, while boosting tourism revenue to $5 billion.
Wall Street's main indexes finished higher in choppy trading as investors cheered the likely easing of trade tensions between the U.S. and major trading partners.
Stocks turned positive after a report said President Donald Trump was considering a one-month delay of auto tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Equities extended gains after a White House announcement confirmed that Trump agreed to delay tariffs on some vehicles.
We're getting a nice bounce back today, but I don't know that it tells us anything new. What we've really seen in the market is investor uncertainty. We're just waiting for clarification on policies. We've been through this before and we sort of forget it. But President Trump has a different way of communicating and executing policy, and it does lead to extended uncertainty for the market.
Earlier, Wall Street had also lost ground following mixed economic data and as investors also worried about a trade war.
When we look at tariffs, clearly you need to start thinking about, okay, prices going up just at a time when people want prices going down. It does lead to uncertainty. So it's natural that we're hearing all kinds of worries about inflation, about interest rates, about even slowing GDP. But then you look at the hard data we're getting from the economy. We just came out of a good earnings season, over 15% year-over-year growth. We just got this morning services index up, not just as expected, but even stronger. Our service economy is strong. These are things that tell us an economy doesn't stall on a dime. We may see some side effects from tariffs. It may even slow our growth a little bit. But from our base case economy, I don't see high risks of recessions. I don't see a high risk at all of stalling GDP growth. I think we will see some balancing outcomes from this. We may not be able to pull inflation down quite as fast, but I don't yet see a reason we're going to see a new spike. We may not pull rates down as fast, but we've already been talking about that. I think we're seeing in the short term consumers as cautious as investors.
The S&P 500 gained 64.48 points or 1.12% to end at 5,842.63 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 267.57 points or 1.46% to 18,552.73. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 485.60 points or 1.14% to 43,006.59.
South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff JCS says South Korea and the United States will kick off their annual Freedom Shield military exercise on March 10th.
He said the joint drills, which will last until March 20th, will strengthen the readiness of the alliance for the realistic threats such as North Korea's military strategy and tactics.
By reflecting realistic threats, lessons learned from recent armed conflicts, and evolving challenges such as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea's military strategy, tactics, capabilities, as well as its growing partnership with Russia, the ROK-US alliance will further strengthen its readiness, capabilities, and combined defense posture.
The announcement came just before reports of a shell landing in a civilian district during a live fire drill in the town of Pocheon. A local official said at least 8 people were injured and houses in a church sustained damage. South Korea's Air Force later apologized for the damage caused after the 8 500-pound, 225 kg Mk-82 bombs from a KF-16 jet fell outside the shooting range during a joint live fire exercises conducted with the U.S.
Cyclone Alfred stalls off Australia's east coast, delaying landfall as officials shut airports, schools and public transport, while residents stockpile supplies and sandbagged homes against floodwaters expected when the Category 2 storm hits.
Satellite time-lapse footage showed the cyclone stalling as it approached the east coast of Australia over the week. According to Queensland State Premier David Crisafulli, the storm is now expected to make landfall by March 7th evening or March 8th morning near Brisbane, Australia's third most populous city, said compared with a prior projection of a landfall by early Friday.
We have seen overnight a delay in terms of when the tropical cyclone is due to cross the coast. This does not mean, however, that there is any reduction in terms of the severity of this future event. In fact, now we're already seeing rainfall at significant levels, and people on the north coast are already responding to this, and they are living in it at the moment.
But the storm's destructive reach will stretch across the border regions of the states of Queensland and New South Wales, bringing heavy rain, flooding and damaging winds.
You will experience at least one of those key 4 challenges: waves, wind, rainfall and or flooding. And it's important that Queenslanders prepare for that. I want to address the cyclone intensity. It remains as a Category 2. And obviously we have seen the delay in the system heading towards the coast. Literally in the last few minutes we've been updated that that could now push into Saturday morning. So if we just unpack where we've been, we overnight saw the system spin around on itself and then it has resumed its journey into the coast. So exactly where it will hit and when still remains unknown.
Alfred has been called by officials a very rare event for Brisbane, Queensland's state capital, with the city last hit by a cyclone more than half a century ago in 1974. The city of around 2.7 million had near misses from cyclones in 1990 and 2019.
New Zealand beat South Africa by 50 runs in the second semi-final of the ICC Champions Trophy to secure their place in the March 9th final against India.
Electing to bat, New Zealand racked up a tournament record 362-6, riding scintillating hundreds by Rachin Ravindra and Kane Williamson at the Gaddafi Stadium.
It's always great to bat with him, and he goes out and he puts the team first, and he plays with that freedom. And you know, when we were out there batting together, there were moments where there were some good spells, and it was sort of a little bit challenging. We tried to feed off each other and keep each other focused on the job. And he's so gifted, really confident, clear in what he's trying to do, and we've seen it on so many occasions, and in big tournaments where he stood up and shone, and we've seen it here again in this one, and hopefully he can continue that moving forward into this next match. But a special talent, not only that, but contribution with the ball too, and we missed him while he had his little injury for a while there, but just took a couple of weeks off and came back and is batting beautifully, so great to watch. Best seat in the house at the other end for sure.
David Miller smashed an unbeaten 100 off 67 balls, while Racy van der Dussen and Temba Bavuma struck half centuries, but South Africa managed 312-9.
Yeah, he's an outstanding operator, a great reader of the game and of batsmen, and he's done it for so many years now. And so, the way he changes his pace, I think, is key. We saw that when you did sort of take the pace off, it did react a little bit. So we saw a turn every now and again, which was probably a little bit different to the previous games that we had here. But he's a world-class spinner and a big part of our attack, and obviously the leader of our team now too.
New Zealand captain Mitchell Santner used 7 bowlers but led by example with a match turning 3-43.
Varvara Gracheva defeats two-time Wimbledon champion Petra Kvitova 4-6, 6-3, 6-4 in the first round at Indian Wells.
Kvitova was playing in just her second tournament since having a baby last year. The 34-year-old Czech returned to tour action after 18 months off on maternity leave, where she also exited in the first round. Gracheva converted 45% or 5 out of 11 of breakpoints compared to Kvitova's 33% or 6 out of 18 to earn her first win against the former world number 2. The 24-year-old, who was born in Moscow but now represents France, will meet 9th seed Russian Mira Andreeva in the second round. Poland's Maga Linette also advanced into the second round of the WTA 1000 event on Wednesday, overcoming Peyton Stearns of the United States 6-4, 4-6 and 6-3. Linette will face 4th seed American Jessica Pegula next.
In Nigeria's busy commercial capital, Lagos, 29-year-old Ifunanya Enwagbudo transforms her childhood hobby into a successful enterprise, crafting durable and stylish crochet footwear.
Nwakwodo, a mother of 3, began crocheting in primary school, making hats and bags. In 2021, she recognized the potential for crochet in the shoe industry.
I just take it as a passion, just to play with it. Anytime I'm less busy, I will be making it. And I believe that I can make money from the crochets.
She says careful material selection ensures her products are both fashionable and long-lasting.
It does not change color. The color will remain the same, no matter how many years you wear it. It doesn't change. And it's washable. You can wash it with water. Nothing will happen to it.
Satisfied customer Masachukwu Jonathan praised the comfort and versatility of the footwear.
I so much love it because it's free my leg. I can even wear it to anywhere. It's very, very okay. I love it.
This is to have her own studio where she can train people and transfer knowledge, showcase her products, and offer employment to others.
And that's all we have for you right now. Thank you for tuning into PSM News. Goodbye.
Barakatir Ramala Mahoge Heo Idmat Hunia TV Balava Lobit Raitunan Ariskurang